already know this about me. I'm a Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets fan as well as a Detroit Lions fan. So I have seen this next kid in a Georgia Tech uniform for 2 years, and now he's playing for Alabama. His name is Jahmyr Gibbs, and I think you're about to fall in love. So good luck to you. He is a running back, 5'11", 200 pounds. And right now, like I said, he plays for Alabama. Let me get right into what I like about this kid. There is no wasted motion in the way he runs. You're about to see it right here. He's going to go one cut, make a man, lose his ankles, and he is gone.
Yeah, he's
and of course, you see Virginia's trying to catch him. They might as well have given up 30 yards ago.
He looks like Dalvin Cook right there.
He is quick. Watch.
Yeah, he did.
Here. Ow, somebody, he needs some milk. Okay. And
he's fast.
Absolutely gone. I love
that boy
the fact because there's some players out there who don't look fast, but they are. This guy looks fast, and he's fast.
Scooting.
And he is great in the passing game as well. Some pro comparisons for him. His favorite player is Alvin Kamara. That's his favorite player. That's who he grew up watching.
Man.
But a lot of people compare him to Alvin Kamara, but they also compare him to Reggie Bush for his sheer ability to be that utility knife for your football team. We've seen him catch passes. We've seen him run the ball. We're about to see a kick return. I'll let the video speak for itself. Check this out. Boom. One cut. Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Now, wouldn't you love to see that?
And he's not running nowhere near his fastest either. Nowhere
near.
Wouldn't
you love to see that in a Detroit Lions uniform?
The Detroit Lions select Jahmyr Gibbs.
Oh,
Jahmyr Gibbs is a Lion.
Alabama.
Hey, big shout out.
That's my boy.
That's my boy, Blue.
I have followed this kid from high school when he was a Georgia Tech Yellow Jacket to Alabama, and I've been telling these fellas on the screen for the last 6 months, Jahmyr Gibbs, and he is going to be a Detroit Lion.
We got
his Georgia Tech highlights now.
We are not going to be able to live this down.
Well, welcome everybody. Y'all know what time it is, y'all. This is the On the Hunt podcast show. And of course, before we talk about that video, man, I got my guys with me. I got my guy Bobby Bless with me. How you feeling, doggy?
What's up, big dog? Hey, that boy a prophet damn near, ain't he?
Man, let's go ahead. Let's give it to him. Give that man his flowers, y'all. This is the guy who came up and put it all together. This is the guy that we will have to start calling him Nostradamus. Eli, tell them how you are feeling then and now.
Ooh, I'm feeling pretty good. I'm feeling pretty good because this train is rolling. It's rolling towards a season of 2 1,000-yard running backs. I don't remember the last time I saw an NFL team do that, and I'm very excited that it is clear as day to me. He was no luxury. He was no luxury pick at all. He was what we needed to really open up that offense. And I'm so proud of Jahmyr Gibbs. And my hope is that people will learn to trust Brad Holmes, a little bit more, give him a little bit more credit, and just start enjoying draft night, because there's some teams out there, they don't sweat it. They just enjoy draft night. They have fun with it because they know they're in good hands. And I think that's what type of fans we're allowed to be now, because Brad Holmes has given us that privilege.
Man, yes, he has. Yes, he has. Also, everybody, want to let y'all know that the hashtag that I've been seeing originated here. Fear Jahmyr started with us.
Hey, somebody told us to copyright that. We should have copyrighted
it. They did. We did not. We did not put a copyright on it. But
yeah, we made that mistake.
Fear Jahmyr chant and train started with the On the Hunt guys. And man, it has taken off. I wanted to start the show off with that just because he has continued to show just how electric he is. He has been everything that Elijah looked at, every reason that he said he couldn't wait, and he hoped that he would be a Lion, and he has donned that Lions jersey. He is making it look, exceptional with the game planning, the way they use him. FYI, he is not a scat back. He is a powerful speed man, dual knife, running back, man. And he has continued to, man, look good. So let's go back to the man himself, Eli. So going into this, has he lived up to your expectations? Has he went above your expectations? So what do you got? What are you feeling when you be like, when you every time you see him and the type of love that he's getting now, knowing that you prophesized this when the whole entire world said, why the hell are they taking a running back at 12?
So for me, just to kind of add a little bit, just a little bit of context. Obviously, as I said in the video earlier, I'm a Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets fan. So when he came to Georgia Tech, he was like one of the top recruits we had in a very long time since Calvin Johnson. And so I was so excited that he was in a Georgia Tech uniform, and I was crushed when he went to Alabama. Like, I got it. I understood why he needed to do that for his own career, but I hated that. And I said, whenever he left for Alabama, I said to my wife, I said, wouldn't that be something if he ends up on the Detroit Lions? Like, that would make me feel like we got our guy back. And so that was another reason why I was so excited in that video, was because it was something that it was like your, I don't want to make it too dramatic, but it was like your friend coming home after a while, And I don't know Jameer personally, but that added to it though for me as a fan, as I'm like, yes, we got him. But as far as my expectations are concerned, listen, I think for his rookie season, I can't imagine it going much better than it is right now. And I think that people are starting to see that, not only is he a good running back, not only is he not a scat back, but he quite possibly could end up being one of the best to ever do it in a Detroit Lions uniform, And I think at this point, it's safe to say that. Obviously, he's got to stay healthy. We got to keep pieces around him. But I was telling Bobby off the air, and I'm not afraid to say this right now, he might end up being better than Barry. And I know for a lot of people, they're like saying, hey, that's blasphemy. But listen, just something about Jahmyr Gibbs. He is a complete running back. And y'all are seeing him do this against teams that are not a bunch of bums either. And with the mentorship from Scotty Montgomery and the mentorship from David Montgomery, I think he could end up developing.
And don't forget, he's got the great one behind him as well. He's got Barry, who's constantly at Ford Field, constantly at practice. So he's got it all right now.
Like I said, I think he could end up, longevity wise, if he has a very long career and he stays with the Detroit Lions, I think he could end up breaking some, if not all, of Barry's records. And that's no disrespect to Barry Sanders. Like I said, it's just I feel like Jahmyr Gibbs is the most complete back we've had since Barry. That's my personal opinion, Nate.
Oh man, and guess what? I am not against it, because truthfully, I don't think Barry was a complete back. I think he was just a great running back. Mm-hmm. We never truly seen Barry used as a wide receiver. We didn't, we seen little screens or things like that, but we never truly got to see Barry run routes, things of that nature. So when I would say a complete running back, I would honestly say he's the complete running back we had since Reggie Bush. Reggie Bush, as we know, was very good. He was electric. Even when he came here at the tail end, he was still electric. So Jahmyr Gibbs by far has a chance right now to be the best complete running back that the Lions franchise has ever had.
And I think with Bijan, to kind of bring Bijan to the conversation, I think, again, this is something I said to Bobby pre-show. I think, for years people were watching Emmett and they were watching Barry, And the thing about Emmett was he played on the Cowboys, where he had a lot of people around him. And Barry, admittedly, didn't have necessarily all those tools around him. And to me, it kind of feels like the roles have reversed. Because people in Atlanta are going to be watching Bijan saying, if we could just put some things around him, we could really be something. meanwhile, Jameer is the one who has all the people around him, So that's kind of how I look at it. Like I'm a big believer in history repeats itself. And I think history is repeating itself again, but this time I think the roles are reversed. Jameer's got the team around him, and Bijan's unfortunately in a situation that is not the greatest, and he's going to be run, and has to be Superman. So.
Okay, I'm with you.
What I wanted to say about it is, like, we was also talking about that in our little before the show meeting. Like, we all are, when it comes to, me and Nate, we got to know each other through the draft. That's how we became so much a good team and stuff. But we all are our own GM and whatnot. And if it wasn't for Elijah and our On the Hunt podcast having our prospect watch, because Jahmyr Gibbs wasn't the guy I wanted, but like my guy Nate always say, man, you can't listen to ESPN and NFL Network on who we gonna pick. And then our brother Elijah, I still remember the night of the draft. He said, "I think we're gonna get Gibbs." We looked at it. I was like, "Gibbs good, but I don't think he no first round pick." You know what I mean? That's literally what I said. But using your strategy of being your own damn GM, Elijah proved that shit can be right. and so you never know what these guys thinking. Obviously, Brad Holmes, he ain't listening to what them guys think. You know what I mean? He has his own interpretations. It's almost like Brad Holmes draft from the Nate Rucker book of drafting. So, so with my guy being a damn near prophet on how Jahmyr Gibbs fit this team, because I'm looking at, like, when the show started, I'm looking at the videos. That's the same shit he doing now. He doing everything as advertised. In them cuts, he probably ain't taking it all the way to the house like that. But when he hitting that line and cutting out, I seeing that every Sunday with him. So that's good. So that's good that my brothers, what one tell me and what the other tell me, it come together, and we got Jahmyr Gibbs. So y'all some mad scientists, man. I'm just impressed by both.
Well, what's funny about that, though, Bobby? What's funny about that is that on that same program, and we didn't include it in the video because it would take too long. But right after I talked about Jahmyr Gibbs on that episode, the next player, same episode, next player that I did for my prospect watch was Hendon Hooker. And I said, let's go get Hendon Hooker. I think this could be good for us. And then sure enough, because that was the week when Tennessee was playing Alabama.
He
I said, watch out. I think Tennessee's going to beat Alabama, and I think Hendon Hooker is going to be a big reason why. And they did it. And then, obviously Hendon unfortunately had that horrific knee injury, but we got him in the third round. And y'all didn't see it because we weren't filming by the time the third round came around. But I was in my house fist bumping. I'm like, hell yeah, I got two of them that I didn't think I was gonna get. So yeah.
Okay, so here's another question. So I know, Eli, you remember a lot of things and you jot down a lot of things. What were your statistics for Jahmyr Gibbs in a rookie season that you had as far as him being successful and what you thought would be a successful season for him?
I think what I said, and again, I don't remember exactly, but I think what I said was 1,000 yards rushing, and I said 500 yards receiving.
Yes, you did.
So we're getting close. We're getting close.
Hey, listen, that's a hell of a prophecy, boy. If it ain't, listen, if y'all don't know, that is a hell of a prophecy. So before I pass it back, y'all, and we change up, I want to say what's going on to Ned Kane. He checked in with us early. He's also our first comment. And he said, in his eyes, that Jahmyr Gibbs is a combo of Jamal Charles and Chris Johnson. And
definitely. Yeah, I agree with the Chris Johnson with that speed.
And you know what? I second that, because anybody who ever watched Jamal Charles, if people don't know,
I remember.
Jamal Charles was a sub 4.3 guy before he got injured. Then he still went to Kansas City and was still that guy, catching and receiving. His career ended too early, but it's not just the dreads and the long hair from the three. It's also the running style, where you still haven't seen Jahmyr Gibbs take a full blow where a dude just meets him head on and just, he doesn't take the blunt contact. And he runs through contact. He forces a lot of missed tackles.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing with Chris Johnson. They thought he was too small. He's a scat back. Listen, when you're moving that fast with that short area of quickness and you able, hey, I don't have to be 230 pounds to break a tackle. It's just gravity and leverage. I'm moving too fast, and there ain't nothing you can do about it. So Ned, I definitely agree. Bobby, you see it. Eli, what do you think about that comparison?
I see it.
I would definitely agree with that comparison. My only hope, though, and this is no disrespect to Jamal Charles or Chris Johnson, but my hope would be, okay, because Chris Johnson, in my eyes, was somebody who was like white hot. Like he was like a flame, like white hot, and then disappeared. Jamal Charles was white hot and then got injured. So my hope is, along with the thing I said earlier about him being maybe better than Barry at some point, he's got to stay healthy. That's the whole. He's got to stay healthy. He can't get banged up. So that's the whole thing. That's hard in today's NFL for sure. But like I said, if we can keep the pieces of the puzzle around him, he's not going to be asked to do any Superman heroics. And a lot of times on those Superman heroic type things, that's when you get yourself in trouble and get hurt. So I'm more concerned about Bijan, to be honest with you. I know Atlanta's got some pieces, but again, I see Bijan, unfortunately, being a running back that is going to be great in this league, but I don't think he's going to be long for this league because I think Atlanta does not know how to treat a superstar. And thankfully for Jahmyr Gibbs, again, he is – we're not devoid of talent. We got guys around him. So it's everybody just do your job type deal, not everybody, try to be the hero. So.
Right. That is perfect, man. Hey, like I say, I totally agree. I said, man, we got to address this. So now, man, we finna go from one great future running back to the guy that we call the GOAT. I got Barry and Eli. Gonna go ahead and pass this over to you, and so you can lead us into that documentary, Bye Bye Barry.
So I wanted to watch this, but obviously last couple of weeks have been a little rough for me. So I had to wait till I had a good moment to watch it. So I chose to watch Bye Bye Barry before the Broncos game. Like I wanted to kind of pregame with Bye Bye Barry. Here was my thoughts on it. Okay, obviously, from a filmmaking perspective, it was shot well. It looks good. It looks like a, appropriate documentary. My issue with it, though, was I felt like outside of a 30-second clip where they talked about Joe Montana and Warren Moon, I felt like I learned nothing new about Barry Sanders. Like I felt like we've already heard that he lost his love for the game. And the way they promoted this thing was like we were going to find out the real reason. And like in my head, because I write scripts and stuff, I'm thinking it's going to be something, horrific. Like, oh, well, he was betting on games or something like that. Something outlandish, something we've never heard before. But instead, it was the same thing that was talked about in the 30 for 30. It was the same thing that was talked about in the football life. And it's like, how many times are we
going to tell the same damn story?
Right.
Same damn story.
Like that's how I felt about it. And I don't mean that as disrespect to Barry Sanders, but I felt like, why are we doing this? Like, what are we getting out of this other than a 30-second clip of oh, Joe Montana was almost here, or oh, Warren Moon was almost here. It's like, okay, outside of that, nothing else was new. And also, I just got to say, from a filmmaking perspective, it annoyed the shit out of me when they had Barry being interviewed by his sons in a public place where instead of zooming in on Barry and his sons, they had the camera back to a point where if you look to the side of the screen, you can see people staring at them as they're filming them.
Wow.
And I'm like, y'all could have zoomed up like that other family that we don't know. We didn't need to see them staring at Barry and his sons. Plus, they tried to make it like it was a casual conversation, like candid camera, but there was nothing candid about it. Like you knew they were feeding the kids lines to say to Barry, and it felt kind of fake. If you get what I'm saying. So to me, I felt like we didn't learn anything new. I felt like it was like, okay, so we already apologized. We got the man a statue. What more do you want from us? We can't go back and redo it, you know? So that's kind of how I felt about the Bye Bye Barry thing. I really wanted to like it because I thought we were going to get something new. But outside of Cinderella Man playing 5 times by Eminem, I don't know. I don't know what we're supposed to get out of that. Bobby, what'd you think?
Pretty much the same thing you said, but I thought I watched it and didn't learn nothing new, but I did know Barry Sanders' dad was funny. He was funny. I like him. Yeah, so I didn't take the approach like I almost figured, with the today's world, if it was something juicy, it would have came out long before the movie aired. So
Yeah.
I wasn't looking for no breaking news or hot take or nothing. Like you said, the Joe Montana thing was interesting, but for Barry to be a mild mannered guy, boy, he had guys that was riding for him, even though he wasn't the vocal leader. He was the type of guy that was like he lead by his performance. I got that out of it. Cause like sitting on the side, I mean, like watching Barry Sanders on TV, he the man, but you just the reaction of how Barry was received in Detroit as the savior, and a lot of people talk about hypes and busts, but not only Barry Sanders was the probably the greatest player for the Detroit Lions, he also lived up to all that hype that he had coming in. So I think that needs to be talked about more too. Because nowadays we considering people busts if they ain't doing their thing in the first 2 years. Barry Sanders damn near first play was the shit. So it just shows that the man, the myth, the legend Barry Sanders always lived up to the hype. So that and like what a lot of other things in the world, when you leave them wanting more, you did your job. So and that's what I think too. So how about you, Nate?
For sure. I mean, same thing with me. Like I said, the only difference was I just didn't know about the stupid Schmidt just believing that Joe Montana was too old.
You mad about that, huh? Yeah, that's the first thing you said in the chat. Yeah, he mad about that.
Man, that was the part. That's the thing, because we had been struggling, for quarterback play for how long? Like we had even at that time with Barry, from Rodney Peete, Eric Kramer, Ty Detmer, no, not Ty Detmer, Andre Ware, it was another dude,
Kramer.
No, the Magic Man, Mikowski, Don Mikowski.
The Magic Man. So it was just like we had been looking for a quarterback, and then regardless of age, we seen what Joe Montana did when he went to Kansas City, and it's just like, wow, that whole what if scenario. But what it does, it did make me truly appreciate the team that we have now. It made me appreciate the front office that we have now. Like I seen things where they they was like, as much as people love Wayne Fonts a couple of times didn't even know where the doggone meeting room was.
Yeah, that was the Eric Kramer old hating ass. I seen that. Yeah, but you know what? You know what else though? You know what else I like about it though? It also showed like it is now. The people coming to play for the coach because obviously Joe Montana he ain't called that dumbass general manager. He called Wayne Fonts and said, "I want to come play for you and Barry." So it also kind of throw out of that myth that don't nobody want to come to the Detroit shit. Joe Montana might have been the best quarterback ever to play. He was trying to get up here. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
he wanted that. He wanted to play with Barry.
That put a dent in a lot of the narrative that don't nobody want to come play for Detroit. And that was not all the way true if he wanted to even think about coming, right?
So, Absolutely.
So, just real quick, fellas, obviously there was a football game last night that we definitely want to talk about briefly. The Seahawks, they ended up beating the Eagles, and we were kind of hoping that the Seahawks would lose because then we would go ahead and clinch that playoff spot. I'm just curious, and I'll tell y'all when it was for me. Okay,
I knew they was gonna lose.
I knew they was gonna lose. When y'all knew we were gonna lose, because to me, I knew that Philadelphia was gonna lose the minute they put the camera on Smelly Belly and they said he is the new defensive coordinator.
Man,
I legitimately said it was me and Slinky Dog, and obviously you can't ask Slinky Dog because all she's gonna do is bark at you. But it was me and Slinky Dog watching the game, and I looked at Slinky Dog like she was a person, and I said, the Seahawks are going to win this game with a last-second touchdown. And sure as shit, what do? Drew Lock looking like Joe Montana in the clutch. Like, come on, man. Like, I knew that was going to happen. It happened. I know that it's somewhat better for us, but at the same time, like, I told my wife whenever I went into bed, I said, this is one of those things where I'm going to laugh about this later, but in the moment, it's irritating.
Right. I knew they were going to lose, man. I didn't even have to see the game. The moment Darius Slay knew they was going to lose.
He knew Patricia what time it was. He said, "Oh man." He probably wanted to say, "I ain't even questionable. I ain't playing.
And the crazy part, if y'all paid attention, he still employed the same strategy that he did with his corners.
Yeah.
Everybody's in the trail position. We're in this press bail. And how do you beat press bail? All go. Simple.
I'm happy for Drew Lock. I'm happy for Drew Lock.
Me too. But there was no way they were supposed to beat them. No fucking way. I'm sorry, F-bomb. There was no fucking way, man. The only guy who could do that was the fucking goddamn it fat baloney. Him, that dumbass ATV. I wish they showed him in practice for him. I bet you he was out there with that stupid ass ATV. Damn pencil in his ear, just looking all greasy and shit.
Yeah. But the other thing I noticed was that the Eagles are beatable. Like the Eagles do not look right now.
One more thing.
Go ahead. We do got to toss it to Bobby. But go ahead.
I am. Did you see the press conference?
No, I did not.
Jalen Hurts.
Oh yeah, he said they wasn't committed. That what you talking about?
Wasn't committed, and he took some shots at the team. Now, to me, as a starting quarterback, like there's certain things you do in public and certain things you do behind closed doors.
Right.
Like, we done had people might have thought we was gonna have a dog out fight on the show a couple of times, but then before we get off, we make sure that we clear the air. Like, wait a minute now, hold on. I hope I didn't rub you the wrong way, blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? We make sure that we had where it's like, if I was a wide receiver, being a former wide receiver, you threw them damn two dumbass interceptions, not me.
Yeah.
Like, what do you mean fully committed? You threw two ducks. So, but go ahead, Bobby.
Yeah, man, I I knew they were gonna lose when the game started. They made it seem like uh what's my guy named Hurts, and they made it seem like he was sick, like Michael Jordan flu game and shit. So
Oh
um yeah, they was killing me with that. Like dude, dog, he and then when the game started, they running to him like hell. Like if the dude's sick with the flu, why you gonna waste all this energy?
13
Like,
carries?
yeah, like dude, he's sick with the flu. How you gonna run him like that? But in all actuality, I kind of knew we wasn't going to win just because the Rams won on Sunday. And
Right. It didn't matter anyway.
yeah, because I got to thinking like sometimes God closed doors where you have no choice but to go the right way, and the right way is to actually fight for the best seed we can get.
Right.
Now with Philadelphia losing, that means we would be over them. So if we were to play Philadelphia in the playoffs, they would have to come to Ford Field. Two things. Number one, at Ford Field, Jared Goff won't be wearing gloves at Ford Field, but he would outside in Philadelphia. So I'm gonna cross that off the list. And secondly, that would be the only outside team that we would not have home field advantage against, because of course the Dallas plays in the dome. 49ers playing warm weather, so I'm assuming we wouldn't have the weather wouldn't be an issue, but you never know with the rain. So that's that. I actually think that we needed that more than we. I think we needed that. They lost more than we needed them to win in the long run. In the long run, other than right now.
Okay. I see
So
where you're.
yeah. So being the 3 seed, we would of course have to play the 2 or the 1 on the road. Being that they lost that, I'm guessing that's Dallas would be the 2 right now. So I would rather go into Dallas than I would want to go into Philadelphia. Strictly because of weather. But other than that, I think we need to add on how Buffalo beat Dallas is a formula that we damn sure could apply. But I don't know if that's going to be another topic or whatnot. But it's best that we try to win all these games, and we are already in a position where we don't need nobody to do nothing for us but to win. So this is a good. We didn't need that. So we always, as Lions fans, we used to barely at the cusp of getting in the playoffs. We get used to we need this team to beat this team. Nah, man, we one of the good ones this year. We just need to win, and everything else will fall into place. So I'm done with the if we win, if they win, we win shit. So
just real quick, because we do have a lot of games to get to coming up, because I do want to go down the line here. Let's talk about that Broncos game, man. I mean, my goodness, it was one of those things for me. I was telling my wife, I said, it's unfortunate that we had to play on Saturday, because if that game was on a Sunday night, every single morning sports show would have been talking about Detroit that Monday. But because we played on Saturday and there was all that action on Sunday, we were not the top story. But I think we still worked our way into, especially some of those national media shows, which was nice to see people showing us respect. But that was obviously the game we needed. We needed our guys to show up and perform, and they certainly did so. And for me, there's 2 players, actually 3 players in a unit that we got to talk about when it comes to this game. So I'm going to start off with Jared Goff. We gave Jared Goff a lot of grief last week. We were talking about, hey, right now with the way he's playing, he's losing himself money because he's turning the ball over and, we're not winning. We need to get back to basics. Obviously, he played a very good game. From my perspective, the only thing that concerned me in that Broncos game, and I know it's like, why do you got to find something to bitch about when we won so much? Well, I have to. It's my job. Okay. The one thing I'm going to nitpick on, there is no reason why we should have opened up the game with all those passes, because it was like, why are we not running the ball at all? Running is the key to the successful passes for us. We got to set up the run and then hit them with the play action. That's what we've been doing in games we win. But it seemed like that first drive, we came out just saying, okay, Jared, throw it around the yard. And it's like, that's not what he does. So to me, that was frustrating to me. But once we got it rolling, it sure as hell didn't stop. And I think Isaiah Buggs deserves a lot of credit because that turnover that Isaiah Buggs got, I think really took a lot of the wind out of Denver's sails. But I just want to send it over to Bobby because I know Bobby's got the 16 jersey on tonight. So, Bobby, Jared Goff, what do you think? And do you agree with me about how we opened up the drive?
Yeah. First of all, in the dome, that boy bad. You feel me? He bad in the dome. So that's my MF dog in the dome. No, but for real though, Elijah, I felt that way when I'm watching the game. I felt that way. I thought we should have been running the ball. We should have been running the ball. But the morale thing, like you well elegantly noted, Jared Goff is struggling. I think Ben Johnson coming out passing is his way of saying, hey, man, you still our guy. We still believe in you. We still believe in you. You know what I mean? We don't want to act like we're hiding you from the run game. I mean, we're hiding you from the game. So I really, really, in hindsight, because in the moment, I'm with you in the chat. Grab the oars and pitchforks, right? Let's get this dude up out of here, right? No. But yeah, man, it's just Mr. Ben Johnson way. And even to the receivers, and even to St. Brown, we believe in you guys. Even to Jameson Williams, we believe in you guys passing. This is, we want to make sure Jared Goff has the mentality to know that we're not trying to win in spite of you. That's not the team we have came to be. So I'm okay with that. But in the moment, I'm with you, Elijah. I wasn't feeling that. But as far as the whole, if I'm giving my intake on the whole game now,
yeah.
Okay. As far as the whole game, I'm gonna say this is the Brad Holmes ball. You feel me? I don't know if you quite familiar. It's been what they call it, verses, where people put different songs. This was the Brad Holmes one. He was showing like these is the guys I brought into Detroit. These are the guys I selected. Actually, these are the guys that I went against ESPN and the norm. These are the guys I wanted, not the guys they said we should get. And from Jahmyr Gibbs to Montgomery to Jameson Williams to Laporta, even my guy Melifonwu, man, these guys really show why we are a different team. We used to be top heavy in talent. We starting to see that these coaches are really getting in these guys, these backup ears, like, hey, when you get your chance, because you're going to get a chance, be ready. So a lot of these backups are coming in, hitting the ground, running, and you can see that with like the people Brad Holmes bring in because they have to fit a system. They have to have a mindset to make all of this work, and it's just amazing how guys that wasn't expected to do much. Not so Gibbs, not so Montgomery, but Laporta, Brian Branch, even Melifonwu. These guys were picked, but they were I could say they weren't believed in per se because maybe a lot of people thought Brian Branch would be a first round pick, but he wasn't. So we still took people passing on these guys, and we picking them up and putting them in our system. It's just showing how everything's coming together, even with the former players being the coaches. Man, I think that's helping these guys stay ready. And I'm not going to lie. All last week, I'm kind of nervous. And the only reason why I'm nervous because I'm listening to the status quo. I'm not for some reason when we lose, I get in my mind where I need to listen to what everybody say. But I'm going back to my own interpretation. I think these guys do well on prime time, being that we're 4-0 or 5-0 in prime time. I think when these guys are motivated, they will go. And I think our losses are more so, I wouldn't say looking over people, but I mean more so like we didn't get motivated enough. Not to say that we looking over people, but I don't think we were motivated enough to beat these teams like the Bears. We took it for granted. We hearing this, but when we got something to prove,
Better
and when
stop.
we got all five of them, and when we got that line that we got that's 5-0, I've heard that specific lineup that we had with the offensive line, they're 5-0, and I think that the number, man, Reggie put that in the group chat today.
You did.
So yeah, so shout out to the number, man. But I really believe when that line is there, we are the team to beat. If that makes sense. And Sean Payton yelling at Russell Wilson was classless. I just want to throw that in there too. So
So just real quick, as far as my general thoughts on the game itself and Laporta, I thought Laporta played really well. I think Laporta's played really well this entire season. And I want to tee my guy Nate up here, okay? Because I know Nate will swing this thing and hit it over the fence, all right? Here's my thought, and people can call me crazy if you want to.
crazy.
I don't think we're done drafting tight ends. I think in this upcoming draft class, there's going to be such a push on the quarterbacks and the receivers that the tight ends who maybe a year ago would have been a top 5 pick per se, they're going to fall a little bit. They're going to fall a little bit because of all the love about Drake May, Caleb Williams, all this type of stuff. The teams at the top of the draft, they're not looking for a tight end. They're looking for a quarterback. All right, that's what we're going to be told all offseason. And I know I'm looking ahead here, but follow me. I could see Brad Holmes saying, hey, Brock Bowers from Georgia, come on down. We're going to put you right next to Laporta, and we're going to have our own version of Aaron Hernandez and Gronkowski before the crime. That's what I think could happen. You could see a 2 tight end set of Laporta and Bowers in this offense next year, because I think Bowers is going to fall a little bit because of recency. People thinking about what have you done for me lately? And Bowers was injured most of the season. He might not even play in the bowl game. He hasn't made his mind up yet. To be fair, he also hasn't made his mind up about going to the NFL yet either. But I think he will go to the NFL, and I think that's my early on prediction. We draft a tight end, this time out of Georgia, and we put him right next to Sam Laporta. And at that point, man, God bless your soul if you are going up against this offense, because you got 2 bad tight ends. You got 2 really, really mean running backs, and you got a wide receiver room with a whole year together. That's what I think might happen. Nate, you're the Georgia Bulldog fan. Talk to me. Would you love that?
No.
No? Would not love having Brock Bowers?
Well, there's things that we need. Brock Bowers isn't going to fall that far in the first round, regardless. We're going to be picking anywhere, hopefully, we're looking at 26 to 32. Brock Bowers isn't falling that far.
But there wasn't
injury
a
or
single
not.
tight end taken this year's draft in the first round.
But think about it. The tight ends that came out last year, truly, when you look at, I wasn't impressed with Michael Mayer.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't impressed with him at all. Like Laporta coming out of Iowa, he was okay to me. Dalton Kincaid, he was okay, but he went to Utah. So you're talking about a spread offense where he was able to, where they ran him a lot out of the H-back position.
Right.
So what we're talking about, you're talking about a legit Power 5 school.
Yeah.
A tight end at his size who's going to run. I'm telling you right now. he's going to run between 4.49 and maybe 4.56 at his size and that speed. He's a mean ass blocker, and he can run every route known to man on this street. He's not going to fall that far, even to us. And now the thing about it is he is, his mindset wise, he does fit the mold. You know, don't play, you know, all those type of things. But then you also have to look at addition versus subtraction.
Okay.
In order to truly have those two guys on the field like that, you're losing one of your skill positions. So then we become 100% predictable as far as if it's going to be a play action or it's going to be a run. There's only two things. And especially when you have two tight end sets, which means, you know, everything's powered. So, I mean,
and they're going to continue to pile up the middle of the field.
Yeah. So
with
that, I think that hinders us, especially talking about in the first round. I think that hinders what we do well, which is that play action because of that. Like, yeah, you know, it's still going to work, but we're going to lose a wide receiver on the outside. We're going to end up picking up essentially another offensive lineman. I mean, to me, I just don't like it. But he is a very, very talented guy. But if we do take a tight end, I don't think it would be him.
So
I think it would be a guy round 4 through 7. A guy who, if not injured, would have been a second round guy. Okay. And ironically, he's at Iowa now. He was at Michigan. And that's Eric All. And you don't have to sit and use a high pick on him because of that injury. But again, you're talking about, like you say, what have you done for me recently? Nothing. But his production prior to that, and where he was already projected last year, if he had came out, yeah, I don't see that's who, you know, I would look at is because he's not as fast as Bowers, but again, he's just fast enough. And what does Michigan do well? Play action, utilize tight ends, creating space. So you wouldn't be losing much, whether it's him or Bowers, except for the speed factor. And then also you get him later on down the line instead of having to use your first round pick on Bowers. Because Bowers ain't falling to the second round. He ain't going past 26. I promise you that.
So obviously we'll see what happens, but I know I would be fine with the other player that Nate just mentioned because I do remember him being really, really talented. My greater point that I'm trying to make with this though is that if you look at our offense right now, and I don't want to detract away from the Broncos game, and Nate's going to go and he's going to tell you what he thought of the Bronco game in a moment, but if you look at our offense, at almost every position, we've got at least a guy at the first spot, and we have a pretty good player at the second spot at almost every single position. But when you look at tight end, you got Sam Laporta, who, let's be honest about it, folks, next year, Sam Laporta is going to be talked about in the same way that they talk about Travis Kelce. Get ready for it because it's coming. Because
he's already in line for All-Pro status.
But I'm just saying. So after him, though, there is.
But we're not hurting though. We're not hurting. I think we're better. I like what we have behind him in Brock Wright and James Mitchell because they're not highlighted. There's no true emphasis. So this is why these guys, when they're schemed to, why the plays work so much because there is no, there's no wow factor. But what they do well, you know, they both block. extremely well. They both have good hands. This isn't like when we had Shane Zystra and Hawkinson. And then when James Mitchell was out, then we had, who was the other guy? It was another guy back there. It wasn't even Brock Wright, because Brock Wright was hurt, but it was somebody else, So it's our drop off when we're talking about production. If the Lions chose to, if they wanted to use Brock Wright and James Mitchell in the same way, they could. Now, the gifted part about Laporta is his ability in that short area to create separation.
Right.
But if people are familiar with Brock Wright, with what he did in Notre Dame, it's very, very similar. It's
But
very similar.
I'm just saying, if the draft board fell a certain way, I do not know if Brad Holmes could stop himself from making that pick. I think he would be
I don't think he would.
In the first round? First round?
If anything,
as bad as that defense need help, they better not get no damn
we said that last year though too, and he turned around and said, you know what? Best player on the board. I'm not looking at position. I'm looking at best player on the board. And if Brock Bowers is still there, and again, we'll talk more about this.
When will the best player on the board be a defender? That's what I want to know. Then, if that's the case, when is the best player going to be a defender? Then
I see, but what you're saying, Bobby. I'm just saying though, like offensively, because I think offensively, I haven't really looked that much into the defensive side of the ball, and I will. But offensively, I'm looking at it going, who is somebody who might be there? And I'm like, Marvin Harrison Jr. is not going to be there. He might not even be in the draft. But Brock Bowers, I'm sitting there thinking about it, and I'm going, with all the hype and all these other teams that are kind of ignorant, like, let's be honest, Chicago, they're going to screw up. I guarantee you they're going to screw this up because they got 2 picks in the top 5. They will find a way to mess that up. So that's kind of what I'm looking at. Again, we'll have more time to talk about that. But Nate, let's get back on track. Your thoughts on the Broncos game?
It went every way perfect that it could. Besides, our sack total wasn't what I wanted it to be, but the amount of hits Russell Wilson took was great. People talked about Melifonwu when I told people Melifonwu was going to make the team. Melifonwu was better than what people think he is. Regardless, I'm like, man, he's still a young guy who's made the transition from cornerback to safety. So his speed is going to be a problem. His range, his ability to cover tight ends, once he learns the defense, is going to be a problem for any and everybody. His ability to blitz is going to be a problem. And it was a shout out to Aaron Glenn. A lot of people say the defense failed against Chicago, but if you think about it, did the defense really fail? No. Or was Justin Fields just that good? When you're talking about the amount of pressures they put on him, but his ability to scramble, frustrate the defense, and then get plays down the field was the issue. It wasn't the defense. It wasn't the play calling. It wasn't the pass. It was all there. It's just Justin. They were not.
They didn't spy him. They wasn't spying him though.
Oh, they did. But here's the thing. When you spy a guy like that, which they did, they had him in the middle. You think about it. Justin Fields runs a 4.4 at 210 pounds. Unless you spying him with a corner, it doesn't matter what that linebacker do. And here's the thing: when you're doing that, when a guy breaks containment, as a football player, it's this. I have to see the guy running because he's going to dump the ball over, or do I just stick with Justin Fields? Either way it goes, it's like, okay, I'm in the catch-22 thing. So, yeah, and it's not like they were designed runs. His runs were off very good coverage on the back end. He had nowhere to throw the ball, and the pressure was getting to him, and he broke out. That's where his yards were. So I loved it. And what he did differently was he used, instead of letting Russell Wilson sit there because he's an escape artist, he came with the safety blitz. So now you got somebody faster chasing these quarterbacks down that can move. So I was very, very pleased with that. It was great to see the 5 starters on the offensive line back, which was amazing. Seeing we almost had, both our running backs at 100 yards. St. Brown, good. I love the amount of targets that they gave J-Mo. And I think going back to the beginning when you said, I didn't have a problem with him coming out throwing. Why? Because everybody instantly says this is a running team, so they're going to load up the box instantly. That's the first thing they want to do. So now I'm going to revert your thinking. I'm not even going to run this bitch at all. I trust my guys. I trust Jared Goff. It might not have worked the way we wanted to, but I trust them that they're going to make the right reads and the right plays. So now I got you confused. So what we seen then was, guess what? Now you got Jameer coming out the backfield getting a touchdown because he's matched up against the linebacker. Your safety was sitting there trying to cheat. And
he was killing them all day, every day in the summer.
Man, it forced everybody.
Every day in the summer, he was forcing them.
Yeah.
Then we do a split training camp with the Giants. They had him on NFL Network, juking the dude so bad with that same
right, and that's what you wanted. And so, also, I want to give Jared Goff a shout out. He overthrew J-Mo. So to me, that was huge. But like a lot of people talk about J-Mo's production. 1 catch, 12 yards. Yeah, but he only had 2 passes thrown to him.
Right.
What do you expect? He's got 3 passes thrown to him. Like, what do you expect?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we can see Amon-Ra with 9 catches, 130 yards, but then you forget he got the ball thrown to him 15 times.
Right.
So I love the fact that Jared Goff got back to completely spreading the ball around. Everybody was an option. Ben Johnson said they were in so much of a groove, it felt like anything they called was going to work. And that's what you wanted. J-Mo put a juke on my man so Scantless on that sideline. Like, wait a minute, dog. I'm just not a speed guy. If you give me a chance, I can make guys miss. I can fight for extra yardage. I've shown y'all I'm physical in the run blocking game. So let me be more. Shout out to Herman Moore. Said the same thing. Like, hey, use him in different ways, man. You don't have to. He's just not a jet sweep type of guy.
Right.
Like, send him on these big routes. Send these, these slants where you got guys crossing and they have to decide, oh, shit, do I run with St. Brown or do I run with J-Mo? Like, you have an offensive line where I think he didn't get touched to the damn near the very end. And he sit back there. They was like, my God, he's got all the time in the world.
Right.
That's what you want. So I love it, man. Yes, and like they say, on to the next one.
So here was the most important thing that I thought came out of that win over the Broncos, because we had talked about this a lot on episode 56, was the fact that, I was kind of questioning, when are you going to get J-Mo involved in something other than a deep throw? That was something we talked about a lot. When, and especially against Chicago, when you're having, 3rd and long, it's like I'm looking at it going, now's the time to try to get it to J-Mo because everybody knows it's Laporta or St. Brown. Like you got the fastest guy.
But they knew J-Mo's the only one to take the top off.
Right. But see, my thing was, speaking as a former quarterback, I was looking at it saying, okay, I know I got the fastest guy on the field. I need to give him a chance. I need to give him a chance because I knew that Amon-Ra would be covered, and Laporta would be covered. But the biggest thing for me that came out of the Broncos game was the fact that after the game, They asked Jared Goff what he thought about the development of Jameson Williams. And what Jared Goff said was, I trust him. And that to me was the magic words. That's what we've been wanting to hear all season long. Jared Goff, how do you feel about JMO? I trust him. That to me was what I wanted to hear in that situation, and I'm glad we heard it. With that being said, we do want to go over a roster adjustment. I'll take this one here, fellas, but I do want to get your opinion on it too. Hendon Hooker has officially been activated. He will be on the sideline. He will be most likely in uniform. And here's what I think is going to happen, all right? Jared Goff is your starting quarterback for the rest of the season, barring something catastrophic, all right? But because we know this is Teddy Bridgewater's last season, and because I believe Teddy Bridgewater was brought in to help nurture and develop Hendon Hooker, I think what you're going to start seeing is Hendon Hooker is going to start taking those second team reps. He's going to start being that second string quarterback as this season concludes itself, because Teddy's not going to be there next year. So we need to see Hendon elevate himself. We've already seen what he can do, obviously, in the meeting room. The coaches have already seen that. But now we need to see him take over that role as second string guy. And Teddy, I think, again, he's going to be with the team till the end of the season. But I think having Teddy being able to look at Hendon now actually practicing, because that's what y'all got to remember, you know, folks at home. I know Bobby and Nate already know this, but for the longest time, all Teddy could do was help the kid out in the meeting room, because Hendon was not allowed to practice with the team. So there's not a whole lot he can really do when it comes to practice. So now I think Teddy takes a step back. He can watch Hendon at practice, and he can help him on that side of the game before he retires and probably goes into coaching, because my understanding is that Teddy Bridgewater has already got a high school coaching job back in, you know, his hometown waiting on him when he's all said and done. But, you know, I loved it when we got Teddy Bridgewater. I thought it was an amazing pickup for us to get Teddy, because I've always thought he was somebody with high integrity. And, you know, I feel like he was really onto something before he had that knee injury. And the fact that he came back from it was so inspiring to me. And I felt like we brought him in because Hendon had a knee injury. And, you know, he was able to kind of help Hendon out in ways that maybe Jared Goff wasn't. He was able to relate to Hendon in ways that Jared Goff was not able to. Plus, Jared Goff needs to be focused on winning games, not developing the future. So I felt like Teddy Bridgewater was brought in for that reason. And like I said, moving forward, I think what's going to happen is, because this is Teddy's last season, I think he's going to drop to the third spot and really help Hendon develop as the backup. So I wanted to see what you guys thought about that now that Hendon Hooker is activated. Let's start off with Nate.
Again, hopefully we don't got to see him. Hopefully we don't find out how good he is, if he's good or bad. Hopefully he just continues to sit there, and any, you know, extended time on the sideline means that Jared Goff is still getting the job done, and when we're still playing forward. So that's what we truly hope for. Like, I truly hope we don't know how good he is at all this year. How good or how bad. Look, I hope we don't even have to say his name anymore. That means Jared Goff and these boys have took care of the job. We done went to the ship and we done won it. Then we talking about, then we have a problem, though. You know what that problem is then.
Well, I don't see it as a problem, because to me, I think that would be mission accomplished, because I feel like when you know, and this is something that we talked about a long time ago, it feels like.
Right. See how I just went together?
No, it worked out. It worked out nicely, Nate. It worked out nicely. I know you can always lead me to water, so, and I'm always thirsty. Anyway, so, but with Hendon, you know, I said back when we got him, listen, if he sits there for a couple years and you got to use him as trade, then you use him as trade, you know. But I love the fact that we actually put an emphasis on the backup quarterback position. That's what did my heart wonders, because that is a very, very important position in the NFL. It's that backup quarterback spot. It is so much more than just holding a clipboard these days. You know, look at all the teams right now that are being forced to play the backup quarterback. But with that being said, I want to make sure I'm clear. I don't think Hendon Hooker plays this year. Okay. What I'm saying, though, is that now he goes from being just the meeting room guy to the second string spot, and he starts, you know, actually putting good practices together. That's what I'm saying. Get those second string reps, because again, what's the point of giving Teddy those second string reps? He's not going to be here next year. And if all things go according to plan, he's not going to play either. You know, so that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying Hendon gets on the field. I'm not saying I want Hendon to get on the field. You know, I'm not a rush it kind of guy. So I think Hendon elevates himself to that second string spot. But for the most part, unless you're at practice, you're not going to see or hear about him. And the only reason I'm talking about him on this show is because he was activated. I believe it was earlier today. And I think that's pretty cool for the kid, you know, especially coming off a knee injury, to be able to get the okay from the team. Not only that, you know, you're allowed to practice, but now you will finally get to dress in your uniform outside of for a rookie card. Because he did get to wear a Lions uniform when they did the photo shoot for his rookie card. But outside of that, he has not been in a uniform for the Lions, a true game day uniform. So I'm happy for the kid in that regard, but I don't think he plays. Bobby, let me toss it over to you. What do you think?
I like to see him in the package. You feel me? I like to see him in a read option package. Maybe in the red zone. Because there's been times where we go still in that red zone. We've been pretty good of late. But there's times when we on that 3rd and 3 or 4th and 1, you know, that we're known for running it on 3rd down. I mean, the kid is talented. Why have him on? Why have that talent on the bench if you can use him? I'm not saying put him in over Jared Goff, but Ben Johnson has been known to be creative. He can throw the damn ball to Penei Sewell. I'm pretty sure he can find a package where Hendon Hooker could be useful. So
Okay.
That's what I'm with, brother.
Nate.
But other than that, I don't want to see him. Like, I don't think he's going to replace him. But.
Me personally, I don't even want to see him in the package. I'm telling you, I'm just being. The only way I want to see that guy is if we're up by 30. And
okay.
So you want to see him on Sunday?
Off the damn ball.
You want to see him on Sunday when we win this division?
That's it. Hey,
all right.
I want to see him conducting the victory formation just so he can get the feel of it. That type of shit. Victory I don't want this kid doing anything extra, because knee injuries, well, especially if you've never really been injured, knee injuries are so funky.
Yeah.
And he's already going to be overly excited. He's going to have to calm himself down. So you're going to have to give him in situations until he's got used to the feeling.
Right.
So guess what? I will put him out there just to hand it off a couple of times. Hey, maybe throw a halfback screen at the end of the game. Something like that. I don't want him I don't want him pressing. I don't want him overly thinking. I want it the simplest shit. Hey, we finna go out here. We finna run 34 dives 3 consecutive times. And then if we get a first down, fine. If not, fine. No, we are not audibly. We're not checking to another play. We're running 34 dives. That's it. Nothing else. No read options. None of that. Because if that goddamn, if he make the wrong read and try to get away and get his ass blew up, we're gonna be like, why the fuck was he even in the game?
Listen, I completely agree. And the injury thing is a great point that you made, Nate. But I guess my question to you guys to wrap up,
it's a mental thing.
Yeah, but I think my last question on the Hendon Hooker thing before we keep it moving. Do you agree with me that he will be elevated to he'll start getting those second string reps because of the fact that Teddy's not going to be there next year? Nate.
Well, again, I think, like as I told you earlier in the meeting room, he's already been getting. I think he's been getting more reps anyway because they know he's the heir apparent. But also, they were using him as the Justin Fields lifelike decoy.
Right.
So he's already, been getting that, so to speak, but, not just, as far as with our team and what we're doing. But again, he's a smart guy. But just getting out there on the field, running these read options or design runs or scramble drills, just to get him acclimated to the speed, okay, that's good. Those reps are going to come in handy, but nothing's going to change. Listen, Mike Tyson said everybody got a plan until you get hit in the mouth. So we can figure out, we can look at it all type of different ways until he takes that first hit and his confidence gets a little shaken.
Right.
Or when he goes to plant, or if he wants to cut off that right leg, that's where the mental part comes in. Like, even with all the reps, he can get all the reps in the world. But until it's live action and I have to do this without thinking and I have to trust that my knee's going to hold up, we'll never know. We will actually have to see him and go through that with him because it's all going to be at the same time. Like, oh my God, he's running it. Oh my God, he made a cut. Oh my God, okay, he's good. He's good. And he's going to be thinking the same thing.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm at with, like I say, as far as, the second string reps, you know how those they divvied up anyway. The second string guy only get like 30 plays, 20 to 30 plays anyway.
Right.
Which, like I say, so it's no big deal to me. I just as long as he understands the playbook, but it's gonna be when he get that first hit. Hey, if I'm them, I'll get out there and run a quarterback sneak so he can get hit quickly as possible. So he know how I feel again. Because, but yeah, that's my take on it, Eli.
Bobby.
No, good. I'm good with Hooker. Shoot, he good. I don't think he's gonna be the damn. I think he's gonna be emergency quarterback as far as like him being on the field. But like I said, I'm down with a package. Pretty much. Other than that, I think it'd kind of be silly, to be honest, because I think with Bridgewater experience, and if something were to happen this late in the season, we don't need a guy we gotta teach too much. We passed that part. So.
Right. Teddy don't need no reps anyway, shit. He like Sean Hill. Sean Hill he very rarely participated in practice, but they had him as the second best backup in all the NFL.
And to me, that's a huge compliment to Teddy Bridgewater. The fact that he can come in without any reps and do what he's got to do.
No, for sure.
So with that, let's get to what we got coming up this weekend. All right. First thing we want to do is we want to talk about those 49ers because they are what we're looking at right now because we still have aspirations. There is still a path for us to get the #1 seed in the NFC. And I'm looking at this 49ers schedule, fellas. I don't want to spend a ton of time on this, but I'm looking at who they got, and I'm thinking they might drop 2 out of the 3 games they got left. So here's what they got coming up for the 49ers. They have got a Monday night game on Christmas. They are going to be hosting the Baltimore Ravens. And here's the thing. Baltimore, they are no longer the Lamar, I'll do it my damn self Jackson show, okay? He actually has some players around him that are finally freaking helping him over there in Baltimore, and I'm happy to see it. I think Baltimore beats the 49ers on Monday. I really do. And then December 31st, they got at the Commanders. Now, I think they'll probably win against the Commanders, but
they're going to beat the hell out of them.
I think it might be close because the Commanders are fucking scrappy, all right? And then their last game of the season, they host the Rams. And I don't know about y'all, but I feel like the Rams are ascending at the right time. I think Aaron Donald's got those guys waking up. I think they are a young team, but I think they're coming together at the right moment. So I think what could end up happening, I don't think we lose again. I think we beat the Vikings twice. I think we beat the Cowboys like they stole something. And I think we get that number 1 seed because I think the 49ers are about to fall apart and be exposed. That's my personal opinion. Let me toss it over to Bobby. Bobby, they got 3 games left. Ravens, Commanders, and Rams. What do you got?
They're going to win. Ravens,
oh, you a hater.
No, I ain't no hater, man. No. Hell no. Nothing against the Baltimore. The only people they really passed on was us. Everybody else been a run defense. They've been running the ball a lot. Like, they threw on us, but not nobody else. And I think the 49ers defense is definitely more than capable of keeping up with Lamar. And I think their 49ers offense would be a tie. So, and when in doubt, I'm gonna go with the defense on that one. They're gonna dog walk them. And you already know my feelings on the Rams and Stafford, so I don't want to bust your dream. I don't think that he can beat them either. So
okay,
that's it. Like,
so Bobby,
I think we're number two. Number 2. I think that's
Bobby,
what we should be.
Bobby is drinking that haterade tonight.
Nah, they ain't gonna win.
Let's toss it over. Let's toss it over to sunnier pastures, all right? Because I know Nate Rucker ain't gonna do me like that. Nate, come on now, you got to believe with me. They're at least going 2-1, if not, or excuse me, 1-2, if not 0-3, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna have Cassandra check your temperature because them boys not losing.
They not losing, man.
Listen, they gonna dog. Listen, like he said, man. Washington, they gonna dog walk the hell out of them.
I think they win that one. I think they win that one. I think they lose the other 2.
Baltimore, and everything that Lamar does, they would have had a better chance if they didn't have more speed now coming from both sides. So that eliminates Lamar running, and then you got Fred Warner sitting right there to knock the hell out of him. No Mark Andrews. Yeah, Derek Likely's okay.
And they deep and they offense.
Yeah.
Offense is they don't put the
their
ball at
offense
risk a lot.
Their offense is very anemic, but man, San Fran is too deep across the board, man. And Brock Purdy is right now the MVP game manager of the league. Don't really turn the ball over. Makes all the smart plays. Deebo Samuel is back healthy. IU, Christian McCaffrey. I'm sorry, dog. Ain't nobody, but I would be happy. Actually, I don't even want us to get number 1. I don't even want us to have a bye. I want these guys to go in, get their first playoff game. Either we beat a 2 or 3. It don't matter. I prefer 3 because that way it look like we get the fucking Vikings and whoop the shit out of them. Because I think that's going to be the easier route right off the top. But Stafford, whatever. Ain't nobody studying them. But the dream would be him coming here and throw multiple pick sixes to us. That would be fucking awesome.
Hey, I'm just saying, fellas, like the world that
world that
I'm living in here in Messina, New York, I mean, it's looking awfully Honolulu blue. I'm just saying. So
we flew down here too, but right now
I got the 49ers going either 1-2 over the last 3 weeks or 0-3. That's what I got. Bobby, you said they're gonna win all their games, right?
You smoking some
good
stuff.
Okay. Yeah. 3-0.
Nate, you got them 3-0. What do you got?
Yeah, 3-0. You smoking some good stuff. You might have some of that goddamn imitation stuff. That shit's so good.
No, we got the real deal. We got the real deal here in upstate New York. I literally go outside my house. If I go up to the reservation that we have, there is nothing but cannabis businesses all over the place.
I don't know. Maybe
that's some peyote. They got that peyote.
You can ask Bobby. Okay, you can ask Bobby at the radio station for my day job. I have to read cannabis commercial after cannabis commercial.
Oh, I've seen it.
I will message Bobby. I will message Bobby and I'll say, Bobby, what the hell am I saying? Because I don't understand their lingo when it comes to weed. Like I don't understand it. So
it mean it's good, Elijah. It's good. I mean, it's real good.
But anyway, no. So I got 1-2 or 0-3. That's what I got for the 49ers.
Yeah, 3-0.
believe these fellas believe they can walk on water. So there you go.
Oh,
as
see,
far as-
that's some bullshit. I ain't say that.
Hey, listen. Look, fuck. I mean, if you got to play Matthew Stafford, Brock Purdy, Matthew Stafford and fucking Sam Howell, yeah, you definitely walking on water. And then you got Lamar, but you got Odell who on his last leg, who's just he's fitting in with them, but ain't nobody scared of them.
I'm just telling you, I got this feeling we're gonna get a Christmas miracle. Because all we need, legitimately, all we need is for them to lose 2 games. And I've seen crazier stuff happen, But
no,
hey,
I mean, you gotta think about it.
The Eagles
you still got Philly. You still got Philly though. Yeah. And hell, we gotta beat Dallas. Look, as much as drunk as they be half the time, you don't know what Dallas team you're gonna get.
Listen, we want Dallas. Bring it on. Bring it on. Because I hope, I heard a rumor one time that the reason why there's a retractable roof on the Dallas Cowboys Stadium is so that God can look down on his favorite team. I hope God looks down. I hope God looking down will deliver an ass whooping. Because we're gonna stop their ass whenever we play them.
Man, they might do some whole shit and open it just so Jared Goff has to put some fucking gloves on.
No, man, it's Texas. It's fine. Hey, listen, Bobby is not gonna be able to talk to his father until the new year. That's what's gonna happen.
Man, I'm telling you, man, that's why it's important. It's more important to try to get that 2 seed because we got to stay in front of ahead of Philly by any means necessary because we don't need to be going to Philly in the playoffs. It's over with.
I completely.
I mean, you got to look at it this way. I mean, if we let's say okay, so we get the 3 seed, Minnesota comes here. Ideally, the way it's looking, our first game would be against Minnesota. Minnesota will come here,
and I don't like that. I don't like that idea. But continue.
Yeah, I mean,
what? Yeah. I don't like going to Philly. Because Philly. That's the only one. That's the only outside game. I think.
Truthfully, Philly is attracting though. I think we have a better chance.
It's gonna be cold. It's gonna be cold.
We have a better chance, but with that, we have a better chance beating them here than we do here because you putting fucking Hurts in the inside in this warm dome where we already can't catch nobody. And you honestly, and shit, hell no. I'd rather him go out there where we got to beat them and it's a running game against running game. If you put him inside and he's able to scramble and the ability to throw the ball, we put ourselves at a disadvantage.
Last time we played them, it was a shootout. It wasn't that stupid.
We didn't have half the people we got now either.
Yeah,
what you mean half the people? What you mean half the people? Just the running backs. Just the running backs.
Listen,
when we did that with them last time, we did not have Laporta. We did not have J-Mo. We did not have Jameer. Okay.
But what was the offense the problem with losing to them?
No,
it was
us scoring points.
I'm just saying.
So think about it.
Offense is a lot.
The offense. Yeah, we're
going to be
points against them.
So, but here's the difference now. The guy who helped us is going to be on that side that our linebackers are going to have to deal with in DeAndre Swift, number 1. That's number 1. Then you're talking about they actually run that read option very well.
Yeah.
Number 2. So then, not only do that, but they got Jordan Davis in the middle. They got Jalen Collard in the middle. Then they went out. You got Shaq Leonard back there as your new starting linebacker.
Yeah. I'm not scared of.
No, not scared. But what I'm saying is, in order for us, the game plan would be better to play them outdoors than it is indoors because we limit Jalen Hurts in what he does well. What he does well, truthfully, is that play action and throwing that deep ball. You remember how A.J. Brown totally dissected this fucking defense. And remember, that was without Devontae Smith.
Yeah.
So
I
he's
forgot
got
they didn't
all
have
the.
him.
So that's what I'm saying. They have more weapons against us. Yes, we have the better coach, without question. But when we're talking about the better team on paper and matchup wise is Philly. So
Yeah.
in order for us to have a chance, it's better for us to play them outside because we have to limit what their offense does. It's running game against running game. I put our offensive line against their defensive line outside, where inside you talking about their offensive line versus our defensive line and the running ability of Jalen Hurts. You really want to do that?
Hey, Jared Goff and gloves outside. That's my only no. I swear, dude. I swear I don't want to see him with them damn
I've
gloves
got
on.
the secret sauce for them to win that game. Okay, all you got to do, hide the damn gloves on Jared Goff. He can't find them. And second of all, newly playing defense. Okay, we're gonna go to somebody. We're gonna say, hey, you're gonna play defense tonight. J-Mo, you a spy. Go get him.
Something. I mean,
J-Mo,
so
blitz him, J-Mo. I don't care.
I mean,
hey, his little butt do be
it's-
hitting though. He do be hitting though. He be hitting though.
I mean, like I said, I think that it won't be a blowout. I think like when we got blew up by Baltimore, it was one of them. Baltimore came out and instantly took the momentum.
If they was passing, we was waiting on them to run. I swear, that's what I think.
I mean, no, it was just no, it was instant. They won the toss, they took the ball. They knew we had the momentum. So let's get out here and score first. And so it instantly put us behind the 8 ball. And then what you do, your very next drive was a turnover. They scored. 3 and out, they scored. And that's when you know it was over.
Yeah. But hey, remember,
was punch drunk.
We got a long way to go before we get to that. This weekend, though, there is history on the doorstep. And all we got to do is open the door and get the package, okay? The division title is on the line this weekend between us and the Minnesota Vikings. The game is going to be in Minnesota. It is a 1 o'clock kickoff. I just checked. Nick Mullins is going to be the starting quarterback for Minnesota. And if I had a laugh track, I would go ahead and insert it now, okay? But to me, I feel like we need to show up and play our game. And if we do that, man, we're going to all get our Christmas Eve present. You can't open up nothing else because you just opened up a division title for the first time in 30 years. I want to toss it over to the guys.
Agreed.
Bobby, I'm going to go to you first because Bobby's got the cards of the team that won the last division title. And he's anxiously
that's whack. That's so whack.
waiting to be able to have another set of cards from this year's squad.
That is so whack that I got them too. That's
How
crazy.
much would it mean to you? How much would it mean to you for us to go into Minnesota and do what we got to do?
Dude, it'd be good because I had that NFC North champions hat the fucking 3 days later. Promise you, but it'll mean a lot. The unfortunate thing is I gotta miss an hour of the game because I gotta be at work on Sunday because it's Christmas Eve at Walmart. That's like you better be your ass at work. So I gotta work, so I'll miss half the game. I'm not half the game. I'll be probably getting that in there, getting home damn near around halftime.
I'll give you my Xfinity code so you can put it on one of the TVs and watch it.
Oh no! I'm prepared. Trust me, buddy. I'm iPhone ready. Just trust me. I already got direct TV on my phone and everything, so I ain't even worried about that, Nate. I'm not gonna be at home, but I am gonna watch the game. I just ain't gonna be.
That's gonna be me. I ain't gonna be.
I ain't gonna be Super Bobby. That's all. But anyway, yeah, it means a lot because it'll be, and like Elijah said, believe it or not, it is actually history for us Detroit Lions fans. This is literally going to be the first time that we actually won the NFC North. The ironic thing is I remember the last time we won, and I remember us losing to damn Green Bay in the playoffs in the first round. Last time we won the division title. Sterling Sharp had 3 touchdowns.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it means a lot. You know what I mean? It'll be a couple things. Number one, it'd be that 11 wins, and last time we got 11 wins was because it was under Coach Caldwell. That's one good thing. And number two, Dan Campbell would officially took us changed the franchise into the other direction like we wanted to. To be honest, winning the division title have always been close, but even though it's been close, it didn't seem attainable. Uh, we always go down to one game, win or take all scenarios. It's not that no more. It definitely means a lot because as Lions fans, I feel that we deserve it. You know what I mean? I feel like winning the division is the start of the new Lions. That the winning the division automatically winning the division. You can't say SOL winning the division no more. That's off. So I'm feeling like we should. I'm feeling like we should enjoy this as much as possible because we've been through some bad times. We've been through some major fallouts. This ain't our first chance to win the division. This is our first realistical shot to win it. And it's just good, man, because it's hard, man. It's hard being the lovable losers. You know what I mean? It's hard almost winning. So I'm just happy for the turnaround, man. Remember 10 wins ain't good enough, Nate. It really ain't. It really ain't good enough. Because 10 wins ain't good enough no more. For sure. And it just time to get rid of it. Break a lot of curses around this team just winning that division title. Elijah, you got something to say, brother?
Yes, I do. So for me, I'm gonna cry. I'm gonna be honest with y'all right now. If we
don't fucking cry, Elijah. Oh my God,
I am not somebody who believes, guys can't cry. If something good happens and you feel emotional, it's all right to tear up a little bit.
It's too early to cry. I believe that, but no.
I've been a fan of this team since 2007. I remember being a middle schooler in 2008, wearing my Lions jersey. I had one of them black Calvin Johnson jerseys. And I remember being made fun of every single day because I was a Lions fan. And I remember how close.
Just since 2008, huh? Just since 2008, huh?
But I'm just saying, I remember all those years where we were close but no cigar. So I'm just going to be honest with y'all. Like I said, I am going to have tears of joy if we win this division like we are supposed to on Sunday. And I'm saying supposed to because we on paper should dominate this game. Ain't no question about it. We should dominate this game if we do what we're supposed to do. And I know because Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell have both said it. The goal at the beginning of the season, everybody always says the goal is the Super Bowl, right? That is one of the goals for the Lions. But one of their first goals was, we got to win the division. So that to me would just mean a lot. That would mean a lot to me as a fan. I'll probably tear up if we can pull this off, which I think we will.
We got to win a playoff game first to do that for me.
The other thing I'll say, just briefly, one of the reasons why I want the 49ers to stumble is because I do not want to have the Vikings in that 7th seed playing us, okay? Because I feel like it is very hard to beat a team twice in a season. And I think we're going to do that in Minnesota.
You mean 3 times? You mean
no,
three?
No. I mean twice.
I get what he's saying.
Because
beating them 3 times.
I think the reason why we lost to the Bears and the Packers is because we got them the first time. Second time around, they had film. And credit to them, they were able to figure out a couple things that made it difficult for us. So my problem is with the Vikings, okay, you get them this Sunday. Then you get them at the end of the season. Then you turn around and you get them again. That is very hard to do, to pull off a three-peat over the same team in a season. Now, with that being said, the Vikings are backup quarterback central. They don't got Kirk Cousins. Now, if they had Kirk Cousins, I'd be a little nervous about this 1 o'clock kickoff, because he's like Joe
Shit, I'd be comfortable with Cousins. Nah, I'm throwing that.
They got Nick
Not
Mullins.
at 1 o'clock, at 4.
Oh, yeah.
But
Yeah.
no, but I'm
That's
just saying,
party time for him.
so I'm just saying, so for me, I don't want to face the Vikings in the playoffs. And it really has nothing to do with them particularly. It has to do with the fact that it is hard to beat a team 3 times in a season. So I don't want to face them. I want the Rams. I want Rams and the Lions. If it's at all possible, I want Rams and the Lions for that playoff game, because I want Stafford's ass back in Detroit, and I want to beat him.
I don't believe that.
I don't believe that either.
Listen, I love Stafford, but
I don't believe that.
to me, that would be meaningful. That would be meaningful to go up against Stafford and have that be the first playoff win in 30 years.
I mean, you know what? It would, and that would be more for all you Stafford guys to really understand that Jared Goff is that much better.
Yeah, no, don't do that, Nate.
Listen, I'm not trying to go there. All I'm saying,
I know. I'm just thinking. Go ahead.
No, I'm with you. But I think that would be extremely meaningful.
I think we would have I think the easier team would be the Rams, only because truly outside of Aaron Donald, there's a lot of bullshit. So you know, he did get Cooper Kupp back.
Yeah,
he got the little rookie back there that right now I'm telling you that rookie's about to disappear because he got Cooper Kupp back. Matthew Stafford is a trend. This is what he do. So yeah, he's definitely that. So Puka, you might as well pucker up because you about to be mad because you ain't about to get that ball like you think like you were. You know, and I like Puka, you know, because he doesn't wear gloves. He just tapes up his fingers like Wayne Corbett and get out there and get it.
Yeah. But Nate, what would this win on Sunday, assuming the Lions do what they got to do, what would it mean to you? Because again, I like to ask that because you and Bobby have been a fan longer than I have. But what would it mean to you?
It would just mean that the team's trending in the right direction, like, and that that everything isn't a fluke. Like right now, in 2 seasons, Dan Campbell has 19 wins. 19.
Mm-hmm.
So it just continues to prove that we have the right coach, we have the right front office, that the organization has been doing it right. I hate to say it took for old man Ford to die and Martha to get away from it, you know, and it's just crazy because it also is a big shout out to Sheila for everybody who said that the Lions would only win if they sold the team. And nobody in that family was fit and good enough to run it. So if anything, that would be the biggest part for me is that, hell, I've been one of them people that said that, I couldn't do such and such. And, hey, I think I'm doing pretty good for myself. So I can understand where she's coming from. Like, nobody believed that a woman, especially her, didn't play football, could turn this team around. And she hired the right people to get the job done. So that's what would be the good part for me.
Fellas, we've reached that point in the show for closing remarks and score predictions. So we're going to start off with Bobby Bless. Bobby, score prediction and final remarks, my friend.
Man, we're going to win 31-10 on the Vikings field. And what I was about to say, I feel we're going to win 31-10 on the Vikings field. The Vikings, they like 1-4 in their last 4, I can't remember, or something like that. But I know the one damn game they won, they only scored 3 points. So I'm gonna go.
That is fucked up.
Yeah, so I got my
Their defense ain't that good. And you can't
No,
hold
they
this.
they be blitzing like hell, but I figured with that numbers man message this morning talking about our offensive line, that made me more solid with that. So I got us 31-10 and our first NFC North championship. That's what I got, Elijah.
Nate Rucker, score prediction, final thoughts, my friend.
38-17. All hail Kings of the North.
Lions.
There we go. There we go. All right. So for me, score prediction, I'm going to say, I think it'll be a little bit closer than the fellas have just relayed to you. I'm going to say 31-21 Lions. I think the Lions are going to win. I'm going to be crying, and we're going to be on our way to the number one seed in the NFC conference. I believe we're going to be on our way, well on our way to getting that number one seed. So in closing, obviously, I want to thank Reggie Funches. I know he wasn't with us tonight, but he was with us in spirit. And I want to thank the number one Lions fan, Mr. Bobby Bless. So we got to say it at least one time in the show. It's in his contract. Okay, it's in his contract. But we also want to say a thank you to Nathaniel Rucker, our resident defensive coordinator, the guy who, with me and Bobby and Reggie, kind of started this whole thing up. And a special note, I'll throw this out there for any of the Detroiters out there. I'm praying for your basketball team. I really am. I really am.
Man,
Oh, Lord. Hold on, y'all.
man, say your damn prayer, man. Lord have mercy.
But
Pray for something else.
with all that being said, my friends, I do want to thank everybody who has watched the show this evening. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and tell your friends about this episode. You know, we've been doing it live now for quite a while. Instead of pre-recording it and posting it, we do it live on Tuesdays right around 6:15 or so, okay? So please tell your friends. That way we can continue to grow this program. And with that, I'm going to end it with what my papa always said. Hey, every day is an opportunity to make your life a little bit better and the lives of those you love. So you got to take that opportunity. And if you come across a situation this week where your skills can help, because you have the ability, you have the responsibility, my friends. Be good to yourself, be good to others in that order. We'll see you soon.